human factor, because that is why that boy came to you. The first approach to that boy, you must love him. If you want that boy to go far, don't tell him about love, let him know. You have to love somebody. Somebody you must love. Somebody that your love for him will change his life. What do you think would have happened to Joseph if Jacob didn't love him? I want to ask church, will he dream? Huh? If Jacob didn't love Joseph, will Joseph dream? Huh? Church, will Joseph dream? No, he can't dream. What about if he didn't love him? Will he make him tunic of multiple colors? Huh? And then let me ask again, if Jacob didn't love Joseph, try and listen. If Jacob didn't love Joseph, will Israel be redeemed? Will they be free from famine? The issue of the progressive destiny of the Hebrews at the time of Jacob and everything God used Joseph to accomplish came from a love relationship with their father. Both dreaming and selling, and they moving from where they were to the land of Egypt. Now you will now know that life cannot really progress until there is love. Generational blessings cannot really be transferred until there is love. I mean, genuine love from heart. It is, listen, let me ask you to listen. It is not really mechanized, man-made love. Love that came from God. Excuse me. God does not ask you to give him something that you don't love. If you look at the book of Genesis, chapter 22, verse 1, 2, and 3, the Bible said, and Abraham loved Isaac. Why would the Bible be talking about Jewish fathers loving their children? I think we should read it again. And then God is saying, give me the one that you love. The book of Genesis, chapter 22, verse 1 and 2.
And it came to pass
after these things
that God did tempt Abraham and said unto him,
yes,
Abraham. And he said, Behold, here
I am. And he said, take now thy son, thy only son Isaac,
whom thou lovest,
yes,
and get thee into the land of Moab,
and offer him there for a burnt offering
upon one of the mountains which I will.
Now, he said, get you now, Abraham, and offer Isaac. The one, your son, the one you love. Because it is the one you love I will like you to sacrifice. I am sharing on Daddy was laughing in the morning. Make Daddy laugh. God doesn't ask, it is wrong for somebody to give God something that he doesn't love. Something something some people like doing that, like Ken. Something that the clothes they don't like is what they give to people, and something that's worn out. It doesn't have influence. All the people that God asks things from, God asks them things that they love, things that are precious to them. If you look at the book of John chapter 3 verse 16, the Bible said that God loved the world, that he gave us Jesus, the only begotten son. Only, it was a condition. He gave us what? When the Bible says God gave us only, did the Bible need to worry you that he loved Jesus when it was only? That he loved him and he gave him the only. What? He loved us and gave us the only begotten son. Because of love, he was motivated by love to give. In the book of 1 John chapter 3, it said we should give our life to brethren in love. I'm not talking about love. I'm talking about Daddy was laughing in the morning. Excuse me. In 51, 1 and 2 of Isaiah, the Bible says, you that want to stand right, do not play with Daddy. this message I'm preaching is one of my best in 2015. Try and open your ear and listen. Every blessing that God gives men has a source. Has a source. You don't despise the source of a blessing when you are going after the blessing. There is nothing that God gives to a child without his father, because the father of a child represents the God of that child. Try and listen. I said the father of every child represents the God of that child. So it is not possible for God to bless a child that his father cursed. It is not possible for God to bless a child that his parents abandoned. It is not possible for God to be smiling at a child when daddy is angry. In Isaiah chapter 11 verse 1, the Bible says Jesus came as a stem from Jesse. Try and listen to me. Stem is something that grows from something, and is still attached to something. It is, if you like, you can say offshoot. It came out of it because it is part of it. Even though it came out of it, the life is still in it. So daddy is a root that you grew out from, and you're still part of daddy. Isaiah chapter 11 verse 1. Each time I remember the background where I came from, fear comes on me. It happened to me yesterday throughout. I was afraid. I said, God, why will I come from this kind of environment? Excuse me. If you're here, you are grown up. The difference between you and a matured person is that somebody who is matured is ignorant. Who is not matured is ignorant. That's why we don't listen to young men. We don't go to young men to go and sit down and be hearing, because there are some things they've not learned yet. There are some things that age must teach them. There are things experience must teach them. They've not even learned it. So we don't even lend the ear to hear them. There are things pain teach men. Experience. Isaiah chapter 11 verse 1, somebody help me read it. Why I'm sharing what I want to share, because I want us to reduce mistakes. 11 years. He said, there came forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse,
and a branch shall grow out of his root.
He said, a branch shall grow out of his root. A stem shall come out of Jesse. Now the Bible said that stem has 7 spirits in verse 2 and 3. You know, last week Wednesday I wrote course 2 on the daddy's root and destiny. I said in that course, okay, it was yesterday. I said in that course, I said you can assess a child from his father. Somebody we know where he or she came from. There are few things to hide. If I know where you came from, there are few things to hide from me concerning your destiny. Let me say again. I said, if I know your father, you have few things to hide from me, because I'm going to interpret to you from your root. If I know your family, there are few things you can hide from me. If I know the village where you came from, there are few things to hide from me, because you cannot be different from that place you came from, because that you came from that place to be part of that place. That's why there are things God cannot accomplish in people's life until he traces their origin. I keep on telling you over and over. The moment that David killed Goliath, Saul was intelligent. He said that stripling is from what family? Because you know that art of killing Goliath was legendary. It was something that is traceable to a root. Both negative and positive things come from history. Those who are brilliant don't play. The moment that David stood before Goliath, God remembered Judah. It's something that doesn't fail. Countdown of 10 generations. Goliath died. It wasn't the strength of the boy, it was history. God will say to Judah, he said, Judah, you are a lion's whelp. Catch it. He said, who can arouse you? He said, in between your two legs are power. It's unto you shall your brethren gather. He said, until you are ready, Shiloh will not come. Judah. After 10 generations, David came from there. After so many years again, Jesus came from there. And today, we are still waiting for Judah in a lion. So have we finished with the blessing? Let me ask you, the person that said that into Judah, was it not Jacob? Was it God that said it? Was he not in the days of blessing that the Bible said they gathered, that Jacob gathered and began to proclaim things upon his children? And it pleased him to look at Judah and said, I commit kingship of Israel forever into you. It is you that your brothers worshipped. God couldn't change it because the man that said it had right over it. Sometimes some people will say, God, change what your father said. Who are you? That man that you're playing with, you belong to him. Up to today in this service, God didn't take you away from him because you came from the will of the man. Excuse me, you came to the earth because the man willed you. The man and your mother agreed, so you belong to them. So if you're here, God have not taken you yet from him. You will be fine in this service. This I'm saying is the madness of Pentecostals. They will go to churches and be telling people to be cursing their father. When you offshoot from a root and you speak against the root, you're speaking against your origin. Psalm 11 number 3. Somebody be reading, you will be very fine. Psalm 11. Excuse me, hear me. One of the ways to know a family in pain, a family that pain will remain, will stay long, is family that their daddy doesn't know their worth, the worth of his children, his value. When you are a father and you don't know your value, you can take your opportunities for granted. Oh, somebody didn't hear what I said. I said you can take what? You can take your opportunities if you don't know your value. You can take opportunities just like I'm here, I'm a shepherd. If I despise opportunity I have to be shepherd, I will take my future for granted. Look at number 3, 11 verse 3 of the book of Psalms. Somebody read it quickly.
If the foundation be destroyed,
he said, if the foundation be destroyed,
what can the righteous do?
What? That is represent foundation. The Bible is saying, if something goes wrong with daddy, where will you stand to grow? In case you are here and you're listening to my voice, the job I'm doing this morning is to continue, is to further you from where your daddy stopped. I'm not doing everything new because I don't have power to do this new. That is why there are things I can't stop you from, because daddy put it there. It could be destiny or character. Daddy put it there. I can't remove it now. It could be a way of thinking. It could be something that daddy couldn't do for you when you were under 20 and now you are 40. It is not my duty as a preacher to do it. Now, when these things, our testimonies I was giving about myself was going on, you didn't know me. But that thing that he did for me laid the foundation for you to know me. Those things are the things that God did so that I can be shepherd of Locust's army. So when the dream to make me shepherd came, he brought processes, human processes, to accomplish the divine. Daddy, God used Daddy to preserve my future. Peace to him. To give me a future. You're sitting down here hearing me because I know you have a rich future. I am bringing this message so that I can create atmosphere for great future. I want to make a contribution that you will talk about later. Maybe when you have ability to feed a country, you'll be saying there was an atmosphere that I created that made it possible. I am creating an atmosphere in this service, and nobody will remain the same. I didn't hear your amen. I said in my course, I said Joseph dream that had the future of his father and brothers, because Jacob laughed in the morning. I said you cannot play with making daddy to laugh in the morning. Right now, God hide in those that have covenant right over us to determine our future. Maybe I should talk about Daddy Chukuma a little bit. Peace to Daddy Chukuma. When I became a preacher, and I had controversial ministry, a ministry like that is weird. Before the ministry came, God himself brought a man like Daddy Chukuma, a man that knows patience. It is part of my story. So he was not really interested in correcting me. He was interested in loving me. The last word he spoke to me before he died in the hospital, when he called me and I was praying, he said, Chris, I said, yes, Dad. He said, try and be strong. They are not looking for me, it's you they are looking for. My season is past. So I discovered that whatever that happened to a man's father will happen to the child. If you're here, you're hearing my voice, your daddy is looking at you whether he is alive or dead. Because death does not separate men from things that belong to them. Let me say again, man has soul. Men depend on their soul to relate with the living. Even when men die, their soul still go after things that belong to them. Because the soul of men don't die. Is anybody blessed? I'm preaching what I'm preaching so that I can be very careful. If you look at this, the Old Testament, this book was not devoted to prayer. It was devoted to faithful way of living. The Bible is not a book of prayer to say. It's a book of righteous living. It's a book on pattern. It's a book on method. It's a book that is teaching us what we must know. Living by examples, copying the ancients, so that we can bring the past into the present. I said the easiest way to destroy a future is to make daddy angry. That's on your paper. I said the easiest way to destroy a particular future is to get your daddy angry. I said in societies where men don't know how to love their children, retrogression reigns. When you see a village that dwell in darkness, a town that is besieged by hell, it is a place where children don't give their daddy place. Where children don't, excuse me, let me encourage you to play this for 1 minute. Don't ever engage yourself in battles you can't win. You can't can't win battles against daddy. Because the moment that the battle starts, God will take side. I said Abraham loved Isaac. Jacob loved Joseph. God loved Jesus. So do you love your son? Do you love your daughter? I'm also asking myself, something happened in the book of Genesis chapter 9. One day, because Noah was a man, the Bible says he got drunk. After so many visited time, the man was found out. He was getting old. He was managing his life. He has tried. Noah has survived a righteous man in favor. Lived many years serving the Lord. The flood came and he built ark and then came back after the flood. And he was tired. The Bible says because the man was frustrated, he took a lot of alcohol and got tipsy. It was a time of temptation. Let me ask you to listen. There's always a time to rise. If you know to take opportunity, this is January. There's always a time to rise. When you get favor from God, you get from men. When you get favor from God, you get from daddy. When you get favor from God in 2015, you get from those that have covenant right over you. The Bible says Noah was drunk, and the first person that should take advantage of the nakedness of his father was Ham. And when Ham saw that his father was naked, he went and called his brothers. He said, come and see you. Papa took alcohol and he's naked. He said, Papa is naked. Come and see you. What happened to Papa that is naked? The Bible said two of his brothers saw that, Shem and Japheth. He said when they saw that their father was naked, they ignored Ham. They know that Ham has a problem. To be announcing the nakedness of his father, that Ham has what? That Ham has a problem. The Bible said Japheth and Shem went and took a cloth and was hiding themselves so that they couldn't see what Ham saw. It was an abomination for Ham to see the nakedness of his father. That is why if you are here, you cannot see fault in your father. You cannot fault your father because you are alive to further him. Whatever that your father didn't do right is what you must continue. That's why you are alive. Your father gave birth to you because he has fault, but that fault must not be discussed. Let daddy hear it. Daddy is not somebody you will talk about. Daddy is life and death. Church, am I not fine? Listen to me. When you stand up, when I finish preaching, you will vow before me before I pray for you. There are certain people, if you don't have anything positive to say, you must not talk. And it's a decision of prosperity for this year. If people are not saying anything good about them, you must sit down. You must not sit down there. Taking decision is part of prosperity. The Bible says something very appalling. That the month that even though Noah was drunk, he wasn't dead. When Japheth and Shem covered him, the Bible says he later discovered that Ham was the first person who saw him naked. And because of fury, the Bible said Noah didn't curse Ham for seeing his nakedness. He went to his son. I said, cursing you is making it look small. I will curse your future to tell you how angry I am that you saw my future. He went to Canaan. He said, because your father saw my future, you will serve your brethren. He said, you will be servant or servants. I think that it is only in Canaan. It is only in Canaan the Bible call somebody, say you will be a servant. That when people finish serving people, you Canaan, you will serve them. That's one of the greatest calls I saw in the Bible. said, Kenna. He said, you will serve servants. You can imagine where a man that's supposed to born king. Let's look at Bible chapter 9. Church, I'm fine. Somebody's already blessed. Yeah? That's why I keep on telling you. There are two types of people that you must not stay with. People that have uncontrollable anger. They must not be your friend, not for any reason. That somebody gets angry and keep on saying things anyhow. That person must not be. I'm giving you order from the altar. That person must not be your friend. That somebody said, why I was saying that person was like a stupid person. There are things you must not say, no matter how angry you are. There are certain human beings you must not discuss if you want to be alive, because that is life and death. Your tongue must not overtake you in 2015. I say your tongue must not, your emotions. That's what the Bible says. Don't do anything with an angry man. Somebody that have anger uncontrollable, you will have nothing to do with that person. Let me show you my Bible.